You're welcome to Property Lagos on the City of Lagos TV show. There is a critical agency that is saddled with ensuring that ownership of homes in Lagos is a dream come true. And this is one organization that is setting the pace in mass housing in the city of Lagos. I'm talking about the Lagos State Mortgage Board, also known as Lagos H.O.M.S. Let's welcome the General Manager, Chief Executive Officer of the Lagos State Mortgage Board, Mr. Bayowa Forsyth. It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you.
What is the mandate, the vision and mission statement of this esteemed organization?
The mandate is to reduce the housing deficit in Lagos. That was why the Lagos State Mortgage Board was created. The Lagos Mortgage and Property Law established in the year 2010, and the board was inaugurated in the year 2014. The primary factor or the reasons why this was created with the acronym for Lagos H.O.M.S called Lagos Home Ownership Mortgage Scheme. This is based on the fact that looking at statistics, the housing deficit in Lagos alone is over 4 million. So the government looked holistically into it and see that how do we mitigate this situation, and they came up with the Lagos H.O.M.S Ownership Mortgage Scheme, where you can access homes built by the government with a single-digit interest rate, a reduced and subsidized asking price on the property.
Lagosians would like to know what are the various strategic efforts, products, initiatives, and projects that you've actually executed, employed to set a pace in bridging the house deficit in Lagos.
We looked at the statistics and felt the deficit is so much. And we saw that we had people working in the center of Lagos and living in the suburb. So quality of life was actually very low. You get people wanting to get into work at about 8 o'clock in the morning. They leave Okokomaiko, for example, at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to work for 8 o'clock. They leave probably Marina, the center of the city, at 5 o'clock after work and not get home until about 11 o'clock. So the government thought, wherever we find land within the city, we can now build, and that is why today you can go to Ilupeju and you see 120 units of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom on the Lagos Home Mortgage Scheme. You can go to Ogba in Wemko Road, you see 144 units and another 96. That is Anthony Ainahoro Scheme on Wemko Road. So we're building in the 5 divisions of Lagos. The Ibile divisions we have in Badagry, Mushi, Ikorodu. The governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, has just commissioned 2 solid schemes in Ikorodu. One is the Prince Abiodun Guleye scheme that has 360 units of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom. We only just about a month and a half ago, the governor commissioned the Ibeshe housing scheme in Ikorodu as well. We're looking to go into Agbowa very soon that has 660 units, and all these are for Lagos residents. We'll come back to the Lagos Central area, which we have 744 units of Shongutedo housing scheme that we're currently pushing out to Lagos residents as we speak. There's the other aspect of the Shongutedo phase 2, 444 units, which is coming up very soon. All these are for Lagosians, but primarily there are certain things you have to be able to show to the board. One, you have to either be in full-time employment or do your own business as a self-employed and show that you have a monthly income. Basically, what we do here, we pre-qualify. You cannot use more than 33 1/3% of your monthly net income to service the repayments over the monthly repayment.
Lagosians would like to know how affordable, accessible, and available are these housing units for Lagosians.
In comparing to what you have in the private sector, the government has actually really subsidized these housing schemes. In terms of asking price, for Lagos residents, we've gone as low as 1.5 million for a room and parlor in Ekpe that has been fully subscribed to. With that, you only pay 15,000 naira per month. The equity contribution of 5% is just 75,000 naira. The interest a premium of about 6%. And that shows is very, very good. For the Igbobo scheme, the maximum price you would pay on the 3-bedroom is 8.5 million. But you don't have to put that 8.5 million down. You put an equity contribution of 400,000 and a repayment of about 82,000 every month. Accessibility. Looking at the super urban area, which we're calling Shongotedo, the Lekki axis, you wouldn't really call that social housing. But you have people who work in the aviation sector, work in the communication sector, who do not necessarily want to buy land. They just want, ready-made. We have people even in the banking sector, entertainment sector, that really wants these places. So those ones are going for 15 million, 20 million, and 25. The repayments for that is, for the 1-bedroom, you have 158,000 per month. For the 2-bedroom, you have 210,000 per month. And the 3-bedroom is 263, thereabout. If you look at that, if we're going to do a pre-qualification on that, for the 3-bedroom, you should be able to show us that your monthly net income that comes to you is just a little bit over 800,000 naira per month. We do it firstly on first come, first serve basis. Now we must understand that the demand is so high. They have so much confidence in the government now, most especially when Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu took the realms of affairs and made housing one of the key factors in his team's agenda, making housing 21st century economy. He has commissioned so much within the last 2 years. He has done probably about 14 estates. That suffices to say that the demand is more than the supply. Then the second thing we look at is the debt to income ratio, is a factor at which we look at who to allocate and who not to. Because in this game, you have potential defaulters. And the only way you get your potential defaulters is through the pre-qualification process. We have a process here. Once you get the offer letter and do all the payments, it's even stated on the offer letter that there is an insurance premium to be paid. Whilst you're making that payment, there's a risk. There's a risk on your side and there's a risk on the government side. The risk on government side is that you've only paid probably about 5% of the asking price of the property. So the 95% risk is on the government. So it's statutory and mandatory you make that insurance payment against fire. On the other side, you have life insurance, and that is for you. And we make it very, very important. So if anything happens to you, then our insurance, which is the Lagos State Insurance, LASACO, make those payments. They either do the payment as against the unit itself, spouses or your children, they take possession of those units. So it's very, very important. We always put a facilities manager there. They meet, all the allottees meet a facilities manager before they move in. In fact, it is the FM that will midwife them into various apartments. So we make it very, very important that a facilities manager is appointed to every scheme, and we make sure that facilities management payments are made initially, then subsequent ones are made annually.
What is the nature and level of synergy with other key stakeholders? Are there challenges you face in this business?
All we do here is we pre-qualify and we do the allocation based on when the units are completed. However, whilst these constructions are going on, we go there, we inspect, we look at the timelines as well. If they give us a June completion, we come back and tell Lagos residents that Agbawa scheme is going to be ready in June. So obviously that synergy we have with the ministry that builds all these houses, the Lagos State Development Property Corporation, who are home providers as well. Apart from that, we also do collaboration and talk to the private sector based on what they really can provide for the state government, even through the ministry. Such projects that have actually happened lately was the Ecostone collaboration. They built about 255 units of 2 and 3 bedroom bungalows in Idale, in Badagry. Very soon, that will be completed and brought onto the rent-to-own program of government. The main challenge is the supply side. what government has done lately, I don't think there's any government apart from that in Lagos that have done something like this. To date, over 10,000 individuals would have benefited from what the state government has done regarding the rent-to-own program and the mortgage scheme. In the next probably 36 months, the first set of beneficiaries of this scheme will be rounding up. They're going to hit their 120th month in about 36 months' time. As at the time they bought this property, I could say today that they're not going to sell it at that price. What we need from the government is to build more units for teeming Lagosians who need these units.
On a final note, what's your word of assurance, encouragement to Lagosians, prospective house owners, and of course to your stakeholders?
First and foremost, on behalf of Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, the talk and do it governor, who has been so passionate about shelter, who obviously we all know came from the shelter sector as the managing director of the Lagos State Development Property Corporation and brought that wealth of expertise into running Lagos as a whole. We want to say today that this is a very, very important sector to us. Those who have not benefited, we are here. You can call on us. We are open to you. Whatever the issues are, I want to say clearly today that it's a thing in progress. We're going to build around the 5 divisions of Lagos. Those who do not get Sango-Tedo Phase 1 will get Sango-Tedo Phase 2. Keep knocking at our door. We're here to make sure the housing unit goes round Lagosians. To stakeholders, the demand is high and supply low. We want to collaborate with the private sector to be able to have more units, and we're open to innovations as well. Basically, it's just been a success so far.
Thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Well, it's been a wonderful time speaking with Mr. Forsyth. It's quite clear that Lagosians are in for a good deal when it comes to home ownership in the city of Lagos. We'll be right back after this time out on the City of Lagos TV show. Stay tuned.
Lagos.